This is Weekly Gaming News. 5 quick stories, let's go. Alright, starting strong. Fallout New Vegas might finally be getting the remaster fans have wanted for over a decade. And get this, it is being reported that it won't be alone. Sources are now saying New Vegas will release alongside the previously rumoured Fallout 3 remaster, and both titles are supposedly being updated in the same style as the recent Oblivion remaster. If true, that means improved visuals, modern lighting, smoother performance, plus updated environments brought up to current gen standards. Basically, 2 of the most iconic Fallout games rebuilt for 2026 hardware. Right now there's no confirmed release date, but insider chatter suggests the plan is to launch them together as a kind of classic Fallout revival, leading into whatever the next mainline Fallout entry becomes. Huge win for Fallout fans if this pans out. Next up, Assassin's Creed Black Flag might be coming back, and the remake rumours just got a whole lot louder. Insiders are now saying the project is actually titled Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced, which lines up with talk of a full-scale rebuild rather than a simple remaster. We're talking modern lighting, updated naval combat, new animations, and reworked environments, not just a texture pass, but a ground-up overhaul. And to add fuel to the fire, a leaker recently uncovered what appears to be a registered domain linked to this remake. It's not confirmed by Ubisoft, but it's definitely raised some eyebrows and added more weight to the rumours. The word right now is that Resynced is being developed alongside other AC games, and that Ubisoft wants this remake to pull fans back into the classic AC style, while future RPG entries continue development. If this turns out to be real, Black Flag Resynced could be one of the biggest AC revivals we've seen in years. Next up, Resident Evil 9 hype is officially hitting a new level, and everything we're hearing points to a massive step forward for the series. If you've been following the channel, you'll remember I previously reported that Leon would be returning as a main protagonist, which turned out to be true. On top of that, we do now have the release date. Resident Evil 9 is set to make a full multi-platform launch on February 27, 2026, which lines up with Capcom's usual early year release pattern. But here's where things get really interesting. Renowned leaker Dusk Golem has claimed the game will feature at least some open world environments. Not fully open world like a sandbox RPG, but larger interconnected areas with more freedom than previous Resident Evil games. And if that's true, just imagine exploring a next-gen version of Raccoon City with modern lighting, volumetric fog and dynamic weather. That could completely redefine the atmosphere of the franchise. Capcom hasn't confirmed anything yet, but even if half of these details turn out to be true, Resident Evil 9 is looking set to become the biggest and most ambitious RE game to date. Moving on, Wolfenstein 3 is officially happening, and I couldn't be more excited about this one. I've genuinely loved the previous Wolfenstein games. The pacing, the gunplay, the atmosphere. Machine Games absolutely nailed the modern reboot formula. Now, this story has actually been building for a while. It was first leaked by Jez Corden, who has a solid track record when it comes to Bethesda and Microsoft related projects. He mentioned that Wolfenstein 3 was in active development long before we had anything concrete. And sure enough, that early reporting has turned out to be accurate, because Kotaku later confirmed that yes, Wolfenstein 3 is real, it is in development, and Machine Games is working on it. No release window yet, but with confirmation now locked in, it feels like only a matter of time before we get the first proper reveal, and honestly, I can't wait to see how they evolve this series with next-gen hardware. And finally, let's break down the first wave of Xbox Game Pass editions confirmed for January, and is a surprisingly strong lineup to kick off 2026. Starting January 6th, we've got Little Nightmares Enhanced Edition and Brews and Bastards hitting standard Game Pass, while over in Game Pass Premium, Atomfall, Lost in Random The Eternal Die and Rematch all dropped on January 7th, alongside Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine Mastercrafted Edition. Then on January 8th, the original Final Fantasy joins the service, followed by one of the biggest titles on the list, Star Wars Outlaws, arriving January 13th. That one is included in standard Game Pass but not in Premium, which is an interesting split. Moving deeper into the month, January 15th brings My Little Pony: A Zephyr Heights Mystery, and on January 20th we get the big horror drop, Resident Evil Village, plus Mio: Memories in Orbit, which is also excluded from Premium. And as always, this is just Wave 1. Microsoft has promised more Game Pass announcements every few weeks throughout 2026, so expect additional titles, upgrades, and surprises as the month rolls on. And a quick bonus story for PlayStation players, Sony has revealed their new Hyperpop collection. These are neon PS5 console covers and DualSense controllers in bold RGB inspired colours. Pre-orders open January 16th and the full launch hits March 12th. It is a fun, flashy hardware refresh to start the year. Also, Sony has confirmed the PlayStation Plus essential free games for January 2026. Need for Speed Unbound, Disney Epic Mickey Rebrushed and Core Keeper make up the trio of games. And a quick extra update for Nintendo fans. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance has finally arrived on the Switch Online plus expansion pack GameCube library. This one was originally teased last year, but Nintendo has now officially added it in the first big update of 2026. This means Switch and Switch 2 players can jump into one of the most iconic, hardest to find Fire Emblem games without needing rare physical copies. Nintendo is clearly expanding the GameCube lineup for the service, and if Path of Radiance is the direction we're heading, this could be a huge year for classic Nintendo fans. And those were the 5 biggest gaming headlines this week. Fallout New Vegas Remaster, Black Flag resynced, Resident Evil 9 details, Wolfenstein 3 confirmed, and a stacked Game Pass lineup. Which story are you most excited for? Fallout Remaster or Black Flag Remake? Which one are you playing first? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for next week's 5 headlines.